Yo, people, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Saeed TV. We are here for Transfer Daily Show in the building. We got man like Wolfie representing Nottingham Forest. What are you telling me, Wolfie?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. Dealing with our bomber from yesterday, but it's all good, bro.
Yeah, big up to you, man. We'll definitely discuss the bomber from Newcastle. You know that was there. We got man like D representing the Gyokores. What are you saying, D?
Good man, good man. Bit better news the last few days. You know what I'm saying? It's been a bit depressing recently, but
Yeah.
we're on a good.
Yeah, definitely, man. We'll discuss Gyokores will help Arsenal win the title. You know them ones there soon. And man like Musa, man, we're just chilling here, man. I've been seeing this morning. We've been linked with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jamie Vardy, and Callum Wilson. If United don't get their targets by the end of the window, this could become their three realistic targets on a free. It ain't easy to done here.
It's mad.
Crazy, it's crazy, man. But we'll get into everything as well, people. But there's only one place to start, man, and that was yesterday, man. The big news that Elanga was going to Newcastle. Deal in place with the club to club with Nottingham Forest. The 55 million agreement in place with players come on a long-term deal, man. Are you shocked there, Wolfie, or you kind of like, it is what it is, like this is where we're at right now financially, or like what was your feeling when you lost him, man? Because big player, man, got a lot of assists last year, man. Like I was surprised, like he was talented at United, yeah, but I didn't think he would go down another level like he did the way he did, man. So big up to him, man. But yeah, left to you lot, man.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by it because financially Forest aren't under any stress. The messages that are coming out were we don't need to sell. We're looking to keep the core of the team. The message was that Elanga didn't want to leave. It was still coming out yesterday. I think John Percy said that player wasn't pushing for a move. The club wasn't pushing for a move. Newcastle have been chasing him since last summer. They made a bid for him on deadline day in the summer last year for 35 plus 5 plus Miguel Almiron. And Forest rejected it. Marinakis came out and said the money's not as important as the team bond. So I don't know what's changed in 10 months. And then the word is that yesterday Forest felt that the offer was over the market value that they had him at. And at that stage, everyone's got their price. What's interesting about it all, Newcastle fans have been going on for the last 2 weeks because he's been with Asula, his mate. He's been like doing some twerking dances. They've been saying he's twerking for him. He's mates with Isak, obviously, from the international front. Yeah. So, there was no real indications that Forest were going to sell him. My stance on it is quite simple. I don't know if it's a good or a bad sale until I see what comes in to replace him. If someone comes in who's worse than him, then it's a bad sale. If someone comes in that's on par or better than him, then fine. This is football. People move. He's not a Forest fan, is he? Obviously, he's a United fan, so it's not like he's affiliated deeply to our club. But he was just starting to get into a good groove last season. For me, with Elanga, my United mates, and I don't know if you boys would agree, but they said to me when we bought him, he had potential. He hadn't quite got to the level where everyone was expecting him to get after United. I remember all the hype after he scored against, I think, Atleti in the Champions League, and he was looking like he was kicking on and then stalled a bit. I would sit here and say I would still give that same rhetoric to the Newcastle fans that I don't think he's reached his potential. He's got pace and energy and the physique to burn for days, but I still think when it comes to him, he's a form player. He went through some purple patches last season where he was unplayable, but at the same time, he went through some phases where I expected more from him in the game. He cuts in too much for me. I would like to see him take a fullback on old school, go on the outside, burn him for pace, get to that byline, get a cross in for Wood or whoever's in the box. And I just think that's still the next level where he's just got to understand and read the game better. But where it worked for him was the style Forest played in the counter-attacking setup always left him space in the opposition's half to utilize his best asset, which was pace. Now, when Newcastle play next season, I've said this to the Newcastle fans, when you're coming up against teams, and I expect them to be at the top end of the table, teams that start to respect them and play deeper, how's Elanga going to adjust to that? Is he going to be able... He won't have the space to run into. His dribbling is good, but can he just beat a couple of men or unlock the defense of a pass? That I'm still not convinced about. But overall, look, man, I would say Newcastle fans have been trying to troll me saying, oh, we've taken your best player. I'd probably say he was our 4th, 5th or 6th best player in our starting 11.
Yo, you think so? I disagree with that. I think he's been at least 3rd best. If you're looking at maybe Wood was ahead of him, maybe. But then again, Elanga got
Elanga got him the assists.
Got him a lot of assists. Anderson, I think, has been a good player. But if you're looking at impact and what you got your numbers from, like Elanga was up there, bro. I'd say he was at least in the top 3.
I hear what you're saying, but our strength last season was based on our defense. So you've got Managerial, Murillo, Sells was probably one of, if not the best goalkeeper of the season. You got Gibbs White in there as well. Einar.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying, look, I'm not downplaying him. He was very important to us. Wood doesn't get 20 goals without Elanga in that team last season. But is he replaceable? Yes. But I don't know if they can replace that GA next season. That's my big concern.
Yeah.
I think it was 17 in total in the league. So
yeah,
look, it is what it is, but I won't lose my head until I see what Forest do as a replacement. My worry is that the plan wasn't to sell him. So have they had that in the strategy? Do you know what I mean? It's like
of course.
Suddenly an overnight thing, like he's gone now, right? Who do we replace? Or has there been a strategy put in place for a direct replacement? We've wanted wingers this transfer window, but have we wanted someone who's good enough to challenge Elanga, or were we looking for backups? So that's where my worries are.
Yeah, Musa, look at that, man. 6 goals, 11 assists. Not bad, man. You know what I mean? For a winger now in the Premier League, man. If you could get them numbers now, you're not doing too bad, are you? You know what I mean? Like double digits, GA.
That's
right.
That's terrible.
You're not a numbers guy, Saeed. You're not a numbers guy.
That's terrible. That's terrible numbers. That's terrible numbers.
It's terrible numbers, though. For
6 goals, 11 assists. That's not good.
You know, he's in the top 5% in European football, like on assists.
Of course that is.
Is he that bad?
6 goals, 11 assists. You think that's good?
Yeah. What was Martinelli's numbers?
Martinelli was awful as well.
What was Saka's numbers?
Saka.
Oh my
God! Because he wants to jump from Martinelli being awful. Let's get
but I'm saying,
Saka got 10 assists, 6 goals. Same.
So where are we going? Same.
That wasn't good. That's not good for Saka either.
So
no, I'm just saying, like Elanga, you don't put Elanga and Saka on the same level, though. I know Saka's out for a couple of months here as well, by the way. But I'm saying to you, for him, and that standard and that, you get me, for that he's set here. Elanga,
no, his standard was 60. He got sold for 55 million. I'm not saying that every winger should be getting higher numbers than that. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you get sold for 60 million because technically, I don't know, he plays in the same position as Salah, technically.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah. So if you're gonna start comparing it to those forward players, I mean, for 60 million, if you sign a player for 60 million in that forward area, they need to be getting far better numbers than that as a forward player.
Yo, D, I gotta stop you. You know, he was the 3rd highest assists in the Premier League behind Salah and I think Jacob Murphy.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to say to you, that the standards has been set. This is what I'm trying to say.
Like, how can you say those numbers are terrible?
They're not terrible.
I don't think it's worth. I don't think that's worth 60 million. I would, if I was signing a player with 60 million. I looked at those numbers. I think it sounds underwhelming to me.
Bro, 60 million.
I don't know where you're going with that, man.
And you got to realize, guys, 60 million is a new 30 million now. Like 60 million is nothing now. That's the minimum you got to fork out now to buy a player now.
So what you're saying is, would you be happy if you re-signed Elanga?
No, I wouldn't.
Why not? Why not? He's better than your right-sided winger.
No, it's not. It's not better than Bumo, the one that we're gonna go and get.
You haven't gotten Bumo yet. I'm saying,
but that's the player we're trying to get, and is he better than him? Yes or
but
no?
if he's the third highest assist in the league, then what's the problem?
What do you mean third highest assist? I'm talking about collectively as a player.
We goals.
Bumo's a better player. What are we doing here?
No, I know Bumo's a better player, but I'm saying
we don't want assists. We need goals.
This is my point. So
that's my point. Goals. I just think for me, Bumo's a better player. Like what we're doing here, like
he is a better player, but I'm saying Elanga got sold for £60 million, and my point was I think those numbers are underwhelming for that price tag for me for a forward player. That's what I'm saying. But you guys were saying it's not, so I'm saying you should be happy then if your team signed him, seeing as he's a 60 million. Do you think that his value is worth it?
That's an X, man. You never go back to an X. It's a different scenario when you're talking to United.
Go on,
6 goals is.
Most can hear us. Yeah.
But D, you're fishing for Madueke.
The thing is, when you look at it, like, okay, let me bring you, for example, like Kai Havertz, right? Yeah. When you look at when he was moving to Chelsea, do you think it was fair? The stats were fair for his price tag as well?
Of course not. 65 million for what Havertz does.
It's like the Premier League right now, you're not buying for, like, sometimes you're buying for stats, sometimes you're buying for potential. Sometimes it can be a mixture of both. You feel me? Like, I think right now when you look at Elanga, 55 million, I know it sounds crazy. Shouldn't be that. Should be at least, I would say 40, 45 at max.
But would you say Havertz has lived up to his price tag, Tenka? That's what I think you're aiming at.
No, he hasn't.
But his stats are probably better than Elanga's.
Yeah, but you're comparing apple and oranges, right? Let me give you a couple of examples. No, we're looking at the position, right? We sold to Spurs a couple of seasons ago Brennan Johnson for 48.5 million. Okay, that's a similar comparison to Elanga, right-sided player from the same team, literally, right? That was 2 years ago. There's been market inflation since then. You've got Anthony Gordon, who went to Newcastle. I think he went for 45-50 million again a couple of years ago. You've now got all these right-sided wingers in the Premier League, because the other thing you forget, D, is that Elanga is classed as homegrown because he's gone through the United Academy. There's a tax on that. He's done many seasons now in the Premier League at Forest and at United. He's also got Champions League experience at United, and Newcastle are now going into the Champions League. These all, bear a factor, and he still had a good couple of years left on his contract. And the other thing to add is that United had a 15% tax on him as well, which Forest had to take into account.
Yeah,
so
I understand the reason why he went for.
It's not 60, it's 55. By the way,
well, I understand the reason why he went for 55, but that doesn't mean. Listen, he got 6 goals in.
Really and truly, what's his value then? How much have you gained out of that deal then? 40 what then? How much have you gained then out of the deal?
It should be 35 million, Elanga.
He's frozen.
Wolves is 35.
Is he better than Madueke?
Elanga should be about 35 million, bro.
Elanga is better than Madueke. I can't lie to you.
Would you agree, D?
Is he though?
Are you kidding me, bro? Come on, he's better than Madueke. I think he's got more about his game than Madueke. I can't lie to you. I think Madueke for me.
Like, you lot are saying Brennan Johnson, but Brennan Johnson shouldn't have been 50 million anyway.
He was Spurs' top goal scorer last season and won them Europa.
You're fighting against what the market's telling you, bro. Like, this is the market. Get with it. You go and produce these stats and assists, yeah? This is what the market will tell you, man. Them.
That's not about what the market told us.
What did I miss?
So we're just carrying on, bro. Like,
I was gonna say before I cut out, if Mbumo gets us 10 goals and 11 assists next season, are we gonna complain, Saeed?
Of course not, bro. Are you mad?
Of course we're not gonna complain. This is what I'm trying to say. So we talk about that 60 million price tag. If he gets 10 goals and 11 assists for United next season, we say that's fair dues.
No, but 6 goals. Elanga got 6, not 10.
Yeah, but he's playing in a counter-attacking team, bro.
Would you be happy if you got Mbeumo and you paid 70 million for him? Would you be happy with the same stats that Elanga got this year?
this year, if we pay 60 million.
He got 6 goals and 11 assists. Is that a good return on the right
6 goals, I wouldn't be upset. I'm trying to tell the Man United fan base to kind of not to get too excited in terms of what you want to get back. Like I wouldn't say that I'll be disappointed, but I'm expecting 10-10. I'm expecting at least 10 goals from him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If he got 6, I'll be underwhelmed.
11 assists, for a winger in the league.
That's the point, is the 11.
Mad, bro. That is mad, bro. And you got to remember, as a striker, he's right, Wood was getting most of the goals, and he was playing as almost like a transition winger. So he scored that goal against United, bro. Remember that goal against United? He scored. Man ran from the halfway line and scored, bro. In a counter-attacking
from his own goal, Saeed. Don't diss him from his own goal.
Yeah, from his own goal. You go when he goes to Eddie Howe now. Eddie Howe has got Jacob Murphy playing at a crazy level, bro. Jacob Murphy, bro. Imagine what he's gonna do to Elanga, bro. He's gonna take him to a next level. I think it's the best club for him to go to, and I think for me, Newcastle suits him, and I feel like they'll play. Imagine him, Gordon, and Elanga. I can't lie, they're cooking. And I think for me, I think this
You're doing too much. You're doing too much.
Gordon, bro, that's a good front three.
No, I think it's a good squad player. I think Elanga, that's what they need. They need squad players to continue. But you're doing too much.
The team, bro. What do you mean he's squad player?
Gordon Elanga, who's starting?
Elanga starting for Newcastle next year.
Nah.
Brother,
bro, you think they paid that much money? They haven't made a first-team signing in 3 windows.
I really don't know if you're trolling, You're telling me he's not starting ahead of Jacob Murphy, Elanga.
I think Murphy's better than Elanga.
This is crazy, bro. I swear down. This is absolutely mad.
Murphy's better than Elanga.
Broski. He's gonna start ahead of him. They have to move another level now. They have to bring someone who's younger, fitter, firing, can play the system better. Like for me, Murphy's done well, but they have to elevate now. They have to get to another level now, and that is Elanga.
But even if he doesn't, I think they're still gonna finish the season with similar amount of games or starts. They're in the Champions League. They got a lot of games to play. I feel like a lot of teams have this type of discussion, but I think when you look at City, City never have this type of discussion. Sometimes Pep will just play someone for 4 months and then bench him straight for another 2 and keep it moving. Yeah. And I just feel like we get overexcited in terms of if a player starts, does he mean that he's this, he's that? I just feel like it's a squad game now. You need these lot are still out there in America playing flipping semi-finals and stuff in the Club World Cup. I just feel like the game's gone where it's gone. And if you don't have a squad of players, you're just going to suffer, especially if you're trying to get deeper into competitions and do well in the Prem. So I just feel like whether he does or he doesn't, it's irrelevant. He's going to be a big part of that team.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's what it comes. I think that's what it is. I'm just saying for 60 million for what Elanga's produced this year, I don't see that. I think it's just another squad player. If you talk to it like that, then yeah. But Saeed's talking about they need a level raiser and all of this type of stuff. I don't know where this.
He adds that though, but I just feel like if Murphy comes off and Elanga comes on, vice versa, they keep the level up. They keep that level, and that's what they want to do. They want to keep that consistency.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
If you switch them around, let's say this deal went the other way. Say Forest bought Murphy. Do you think Murphy in the Forest team gets 17 GA last season?
It's impossible for me to answer. I think Murphy's better than Elanga.
You say that, but you're basing it on the fact that you're not looking at the Newcastle squad.
I think what you're doing.
They got Isak there. They got Bruno Gyokeres behind him. Tonali, Joe Linton.
Right? Yeah, better established team.
In European football for me, that Newcastle midfield, right? Yeah, versus our midfield, which for me was a weakness last year. Yes, we got Gibbs White and Anderson, but there's still holes in our midfield. You got to take that into account. And you gotta just let it go, D. Like this whole price thing, bro. Petrol now costs about 160. Are you gonna stand there and say, back in my day it was only £1? I don't want to pay more than £1.
What I'm basically saying is it's the same thing about when people talk about Havertz. Then we've got to let go of the price of Havertz as well, then haven't we?
worth
No,
65 million.
you
though. He was
overpaid.
No, but you can't pick and choose when the price
No,
matters.
no, no. Trust me. Havertz didn't do, apart from the Champions League goal. Yeah, Havertz's overall level did not quantify you paying him 65 million, bro. Let's be
Neither
honest.
does Elanga, neither does Elanga's.
Now, Elanga's match work at Nottingham Forest, bro, more than what Kai Havertz done.
Havertz's numbers are twice as good as
Let's
Elanga.
be honest, bro. Like when
It's not the same
everyone-
position, bro.
when you not bought him, yeah, everyone, yeah, most of the fan base were like, "Oh my god, how are we buying Havertz for 65 million plus the wages that you paid for him as well?" You got to remember, both of them was like, "Wow, 208 grand a week." And then you get him flea 65 million of Chelsea, bro.
But I'm agreeing with that. I don't think Havertz is worth 65, but I also don't think Elanga's worth 55. I'm just leaving it as that. And Buemo now is worth the 55 or the 60 million because he's a player that's gonna make the difference.
But now clubs now will not let you buy a player for 50 million less. Like there's no in between, guys.
Yeah.
50 million is almost like the opening price tag now. Unless you go, like I said to you, unless you go and spend a player and he's very, very young and he's up and coming, you're not, bro. Like
who's better, Elanga or Buemo?
Buemo's better.
So how much is Buemo? Of course, Buemo.
You know why? Because we feel like one of them is at the topper end of his price market, and we feel like the other one you're kind of getting him at a very, very good price, which is Buemo. I feel like if Buemo goes for 80 million, some people still, and he's got a few more years left on his contract, a lot of people still pay that.
Yeah.
Based on his numbers. So I just feel like Elanga doesn't get into that price bracket. I just feel like Buemo with the 1 year left on his contract, blah, blah, blah. That's why you're paying that 60 million.
Yeah.
You put in here, let's say, for example, you give me 8 goals here and let's say, I don't know, 7 or 8 assists here. You could be a 50 million pound player, you know that, in one summer.
It depends what team you play for.
Yeah, but I'm just letting you know, like, yo, clubs are looking at it, yo, give me 50 million. That's
but depends what team, though.
That's what Brighton are asking, though. Brighton will ask you that for their players, and if you look at their numbers, that's all they're getting. Whether it's
they're not worth that, though. Their players are not worth.
But they sell for that. They sell Matoma. Did he have the greatest season last year? No,
worth 70, 80 million, though.
Cool. But
I saying 50 million.
They rejected an offer for 80 odd million in January for Matoma. They rejected it. They rejected it.
You're buying the player.
From who?
From Saudi. I think it was from Saudi.
Yeah, but that's Saudi.
Yeah. That's all right, bro. But that's what we're saying. Because that's another market you're competing against. You can sell these players for bigger bucks.
João Pedro, 9 goals, 3 assists. Last season, 10 goals, 6 assists. A lot of
how much did Pedro go for? How much did Pedro go for?
Huh?
60?
He went for 55 million, I think it was.
Yeah, you're not getting him less than 50 million. And if you look at my man that Chelsea got up front as well, the lap, it's only because he had that in his contract. He would have been another 50 million. He would have been another 50 million.
Easy 50 million. If it was United, it would have been 80 million. You know what I'm saying?
I think that Pedro example is a very good one because he's been comparing Havertz to Elanga. If he's doing this different position thing, Pedro's stats were worse as an attacker, as a false 9 or a 10 or a 9, whatever you want to call him, than Elanga's stats. And he went for the same, if not slightly more money.
But he shouldn't be. That's my point.
Yeah, but the price of petrol shouldn't be £1.60, man. It should be like £1. You know, like in Libya, petrol.
You're not understanding. You're not understanding what I'm saying. I understand that he's going for that, and that's the price. But my point is, the point where you said that Elanga was 6th best player at Nottingham Forest, and he's going for 55 million, and you said he's a level.
To be fair,
he's a level raiser for Newcastle. I don't think any of those things are true. I don't think
you think still in this market he's not 50. Even in this market, you still ain't paying that 50 million. You're saying
I'm not paying 55 million for Elanga or 60
million.
You
guys paid 50 for Madueke, bro. What are you saying?
Say that again.
5 million.
I want to pay 55 million. If Arsenal paid 55 million for Elanga, they'll be all right.
How much are you going to pay for Madueke if it goes through?
I'm telling you, if we paid, why do you think there's a riot that we're paying 50 million for Madueke?
Because it's Chelsea.
Okay, let's see. There's a riot in it for Arsenal.
That's not a riot.
If we spend 50 million on Madueke, there will be a riot outside the Emirates.
That's not a riot.
You'll spend 40
million. That's not a riot.
You'll be sitting here
They're just bare
saying,
Twitter fingers, bare Twitter fingers. That's all it is. It's not riots going on at us.
But
if you sign Madueke, you'll be sitting here telling us why he's better than Elanga, why he's got this potential. He's English, he's homegrown talent, Premier League. You're gonna do the whole Arteta thing, man.
You got a guy. I keep the same energy. Madueke is not worth 50 million. Elanga's not worth 55 million. I keep the same energy. I'm the same.
I mean, let's discuss the Gyokores situation, because you know what I mean. I don't know if you watched the Big Six last night, but Steve was on everyone's case yesterday saying, "Oh, how Gyokores ain't the guy, and he ain't gonna give Arsenal what they need." But how are you feeling, D, bro? Like Gyokores, is he the one for the title? Like, is he the final kind of missing piece for the striking option? You know what I'm saying?
That's the one. That's the one that we need to go for. Like I say all the time, I like players that do what they're supposed to do. So a lot of people always say, "Oh, he's done it in the Portuguese league and it's not the top league and stuff like that." But my thing is, I need you to show me that you're better than them. Yeah, you know what I mean, if you got a player that's better than the Portuguese league, I need you to score the 60 goals. You get it?
Yeah.
I don't want you to be scoring 15 goals in the Portuguese league and then you do what you're supposed to do against the players you're supposed to do it against. That's what I go off. So he's clearly a way far better than that league. So that's all I can ask for. You did what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's all we can ask for, really, at the end of the day.
He's the real deal, Saeed, man. People want to hate and talk what they want to talk. I'll tell you for free, Saeed. He's the real deal. And the reason he's the real deal, because he loves to score goals. He's not in the business on anything else. He doesn't care what you're doing on the touchline over there and what you're doing over there. All he knows is, I need to score goals. That's all he's on. And when you've got a player who he seems like, you know, old school Ruud van Nistelrooy, where if Arsenal win and Gyokores don't score, he's still fuming. You need that type of player. Yeah, he's still angry. And it's like, even that game against Arsenal, when Arsenal beat them, I think 4-1 or something like that, I can't remember. He was still, 80th minute, still on it. So for me, he's one of those players, like, even if they're losing 3-0, he still wants to get a goal and make it 3-1 and say, yeah, I scored my thing. So you need someone like that. And I feel like he's the real deal. Everyone wants to hate, blah, blah, blah. It's not the Prem. I don't believe that. Arsenal have, the way Arsenal play the game, you get a lot of opportunities. He's not coming to Man United side, man, where we're not creating nothing and we're making excuses and it's individual brilliance. He's the real deal. I'm not going to hate on that. I think he's going to do well for them.
The only thing I would say, though, is that Nunes was also, what do you call it, scoring goals and whatnot.
Yeah, but he was surprised by the league. This guy's not surprised by the Prem. He's been here. He's played them. He's played against the Prem teams. He's played in Championship. He's played cup games. He knows what he's expecting. Like, he knows his first game what to expect. He ain't got no surprises. There's no hit. Like, he knows what he needs to do, and I feel like he's got that determination in him. I wouldn't hate. I think those 60 goals that he scored in Portugal turn into like 25 league goals here. 20. And
you got to remember as well, bro. Like, that's on a bad run. Like, thinking that he doesn't hit the ground running if he scores 20 goals. Because the fact of the matter is, it's not so much about the fact that he's the way he plays. It's more about his finishing. Like, when you see how he finishes, most of the time when he strikes the ball and goals he scores, if you watch his compilation of goals that he scores, it doesn't really matter most of the time who's in goal. The way he finishes, it wouldn't really make a difference.
I get what you mean. It just depends on the actual chances if he can get.
He scores you 20 goals next in the Prem. That's a good signing.
For 60 million as a striker, definitely.
That's a good signing. No one scores them type of goals. Like, this is the Prem. Like, we see one or two guys and we get excited, but to get 20 plus goals season in, season out, if you get that off him for about the next 3-4 years, you've done well.
100%. We haven't had that since Aubameyang.
But the thing is, though, it's like, it's now, this is where the excuses have to stop, though, isn't it? Now, like, it's like, you got your striker in now. Yeah, you're looking for a Eze, you're looking for a thingy, but I feel like this one means a lot more, bro. Like, having a striker there, like the other positions, like even though Martinelli, I don't really rate that highly, they can still fill in them positions. You feel me? Like, you still got Ethan Waneri that can fill in ahead of Odegaard. Like, that position there is such a key area where if you don't sort that out, it's always going to be that question mark over Arteta's head and Arsenal head's like, yo, why haven't we got a clinical goal scorer?
Yeah.
That's where you're like, yo, no excuses now for Arsenal not to be doing a serious challenge where, you know what, we're aiming not only to win the league, but we're aiming to be there in the long distance, take it to the final 2 days, at least minimum, not crash out the way you did crash out. You feel me? Because you crashed out last season. And look at, and you know what it is, yeah? You all of a sudden you're in a title race, and then all of a sudden you're looking back at your shoulder thinking, shit, we're in the top 4 race. We're still third.
But that's the difference with now signing, because you see when you sign players like Gyokores and those type of players, all the other signings start to make a bit more sense when you've filled out your main set of positions.
Yeah.
So, Norgard makes more sense when Gyokores is playing, and if you manage to get an Eze in and stuff like that, then you make sense. Oh, Norgard as a backup, it makes sense now. But it doesn't make sense when you're filling in gaps before you've actually sorted out the big leak in your house. You know what I'm saying? You need to sort out that big hole in your ceiling before you start trying to plug the gaps all over the house and certain other places. But if Gyokores in the team up front, where you because all of a sudden a Gyokores up top, which is your main striker, a Havertz scoring 10 goals in the league, all of a sudden is a nice help. It's a nice tick along. More so than a 10-goal season striker being the main man. Havertz scoring 10 a season, now all of a sudden that kind of helps. Saka scoring maybe 8 to 10. All of a sudden, those little chip
everyone's got to chip in, man.
But those little chip-ins can't be the main chip-ins. You have to have a 30-goal season, man, and then have a couple of 10 mans around. You know what I'm saying? That's why you guys, for example, if you don't get Embremo and Cunha, you've got 2 10, 12 a goal mans. If you manage to get one more, all of a sudden you've got a whole different attack.
Yeah, they got Hoyland, bro. Don't worry about it.
But,
we going Forest. Take Elanga spot.
We're good, bro. We're good. I think for me, Gyokores, however any ops want to glaze it, man, he's going to come in and score. I think Sesko would go in and score, even though I didn't think Sesko's good. What I'm saying is Arsenal can create plenty of chances in a game. And if there's a striker there's a good chance they're going to score plenty of goals. Where the pressure now turns to is that fraud of a manager, Arteta. Because even as someone who doesn't really give a shit about Arsenal, it's baffling me how he's got away with murder for the last 5 years. And I know he's your boy D and everything. But my question to you is, there are no excuses. Let's say you go and get your left winger, Rodrigo, whoever it might be, and everything. I now look at that team and see a good, strong 11, good backup, and a lot of balance in that team. If I'm looking I was looking at it from the, of the eyes of an Arsenal fan, the only acceptable outcome to next season is the title or the Champions League. What I don't want to be hearing is, we put a title run and we won the Carabao Cup or something like that. I think that could have been done 2 years ago. You were meant to win the league last year. Man City were the only things I kept getting told that were stopping you. They fell off and you didn't emerge. Would you say that this season has to be a major? If he gets, and I'm making the assumption he gets his left winger as well, etc.
Yeah, you can't say it has to be a major because there's the top teams all around the world. Like, how are you going to say you have to?
Now we're going for the manager, not for your club, for the manager.
But what he wants to do, he wants to get into an Arteta in or out debate, and that's what I'm not getting into.
I'm not.
But effectively, I think you can make a decision. You could say a man's been here for 5-6 years. Yeah, if he can't do it this time, it's someone else's turn. It's easy. It's not like you don't have to dislike it.
What I'm saying is, it's different. What I'm saying is, the other day I was on a stream and everyone was telling me, "Oh, every trophy is the same. You can't downplay any trophies. Tottenham are European Cup holders. Chelsea won it. Every trophy is the same." That's why I was on the stream telling people that every trophy is the same. Now I'm hearing Wolf is on the stream saying he can't win a Carabao Cup. You get it? So everyone's got different ideas about what someone can and can't win. But you're saying
I don't think anyone agrees that all trophies are the same, bro. All trophies are good, but
some people say every trophy is a trophy.
When these trophies come, and it's when the trophy comes. When you look at Spurs, my man, he won the trophy in his second year. If Arteta wins the Europa League in his second year, then it's a conversation where people say, "Okay, well done. You picked up a trophy." When you're doing it in year 7 or year 6, and you're
won an
picking
FA
up,
Cup already. He's already won an FA
all
Cup.
right, cool. That's what I'm saying. So we don't want that in year 6. So it was cool when he won it then in year 1. It was cool. It was cool then. It's not cool in year 4 and year 5, and that's the point.
Man.
No, it's
Listen,
not cool.
I agree with you. Like the only issue that we have is that we shouldn't be winning. We should be winning along the way. That's where the issue comes, because you can't have a gap.
Too late for that. Too late for that.
But that's the point I'm making. If he was winning along the way, ticking over once every couple of years, this and then that, then all of a sudden you wouldn't be so much pressure on him. But because he neglected the other trophies and focused solely on I think he thought it would be easier to win it than it actually is. And now that he hasn't won it, it's dragged on. I think that's what
no. He definitely knew it's going to be
And
hard.
managers are like players as well, guys, man. If we can replace strikers and wing backs and defenders, just replace the manager, bro. It's a whole league of managers who should be competing and doing well for themselves. And you don't just have the right to sit stagnant at a club for as long as you're sitting. You know what I mean?
I agree with that, but I think the only difference is if you look at each individual season of Arsenal, you would, even though we haven't won a trophy, you can't just say, "Oh, that was a terrible season." That's the only.
And you've got worse for me, man. There was one season, I don't know if it was 2 seasons back, when Arsenal would come and they would finish the game in the first 30 minutes, and then that was it.
Yeah,
they'll just come blow you out the park. Yeah, you ain't the same team since then. I don't feel like you haven't won the league because you haven't had a striker. I've seen the number of goals you've scored over a whole season, which has been enough goals to win a league. Like, I've seen you actually numbers-wise say, okay, this team was good enough to win the league. But then I've seen that top teams in certain games need a manager tactically to get them over the line. It's not just about them. There's certain games where you say to yourself, you know what? Like I said, as much as I didn't like Eric Ten Hag, but he doesn't lose that final to Spurs. He doesn't. Because he just tactically makes a decision where it actually helps the team to actually get over the line and win it, like we did in the FA Cup against City. So I feel like some managers are just naive and they continue to get themselves in these positions and make the same naive decisions that cost the team. And ultimately, you got to change that. That's how I just see Arteta. Like, I just feel like he's got you to where he can, and he's just not making those right decisions.
What do you think then? That as you looking from the outside, are you saying that he should only win the Premier League and the Champions League, or what are you saying? Any trophy?
No, I'm saying for him to keep his job, I think it shouldn't be a case of, if he wins the FA Cup or the Carabao Cup, he therefore should stay. I think for him to show a very, very significant improvement, it would be to win the Premier League. That is the target next season. Premier League or Champions League, preferably Premier League, because that's a bit.
So you are okay. So you are saying no. So you are saying there's only 2 trophies that he should be able to win.
No. I'm saying
he can win the others as a backup. You could do a double.
That's almost like as a plus. The major honors are for me the Premier League and the Champions League. People say FA Cup's a major honor, cool. But I'm saying to avoid a sack, really and truly, this season, it should be, if he doesn't win the Premier League or Champions League, then he should be sacked.
Yeah, because at this point, he needs 2 of them small cups. He needs Carabao and FA Cup to save his job. Like, he can't even have one of them. Yeah, he needs like a double in them small cups, if we want to call them that. He will have to pick up both of them. He will have to pick up both of them for him to for the fan base that want to keep him in to say, look, he's done this. But I just think a good run in one of them, because you know how the FA Cup is, sometimes you might not even get those hard teams. Sometimes you might just get a good run. You find yourself in the semi, and then all of a sudden you got to analyze, how did you get there? How did you actually win it? Is it something to really, cheer about? So I don't know. I just feel like
with the Coventry thing. You know what I'm saying?
I think we're at the stage now as Arsenal fan base in the club where I think they'd really, really only be happy with the Premier League and the Champions League. That's what I truly believe. I don't think people will say any trophy, but I think deep down they really only want the 2 big ones. That's what I believe. That's what we really want. I feel like we're so close to it that's you want the prize asset, don't you?
What are you saying, D? What's your minimum expectation? Assuming the squad is the squad, what's your
Premier League? I want obviously in an ideal world I'd have the Champions League because we've never won it before, but I really do want this Premier League. I want I want to shut. There's too much doubt going on in our club. I want it finished. And if he wins a Premier League at some point, I think everyone will just be like, okay, cool, keep doing what you're doing if you can. But he has to win. You have to win something. It's been 5-6 years. It's too long. You can't. You're too big of a club to not be winning trophies. Yeah,
You'll
you
be the
can
first
come.
manager in 20 years to win a trophy, a Premier League trophy. That's a
And
very big
not only that as well, if he does win it, the whole narrative will change. This is your first job. You changed the club around. You did play for the club. All the narratives, all the positive narratives will come back because it will start. Everyone will start seeing. Okay, it took you 5-6 years, but now can you go on a run of consistently winning every couple of years? Now, can you do that? Can you do it back to back? You will start having different conversations. But the conversation we've got now,
I just can't see Arsenal winning the league title. I don't know what it is, man. Can you envision Arsenal winning the title?
But this is the point I'm making. When Wenger was in charge, no one ever thought. Once he proved his point, no one ever thought that you couldn't see Arsenal winning it. If anything, you knew we went unbeaten, and then you're thinking we didn't retain it, but you knew we were going to be a problem.
You
never once believed that we were.
Your team there was next.
I don't know. It's whether the belief of the fan base, whether it's belief of the
players.
It's
a lot of it's the fan base, man. A lot of it's the fan base. Like Arsenal fan base is probably the most toxic and split fan base in the world.
Wow,
like, they're all over. They're all over the place.
I lie. So
I just feel like there's a lot going against you, man. The fact that Liverpool can do what they did in Klopp's last season, where they were kind of in the title race up until December, and then they fell away. And then the new manager comes in. They don't buy no players, but they still got that core in the team, and then they can come on and win the league. That just puts Arsenal in a difficult situation, man. Because and I feel like you see what Liverpool did. Chelsea's got that in them. Chelsea's got that in them. When I look at Chelsea's record of picking up European trophies, winning the league, you sit back and you think, hold on, they've actually won a lot of things in recent time. You just it's just easy to forget. And I feel like Chelsea's got in them what Liverpool did last season to come and just win the league, and everyone's like, right, how did that happen?
Yeah, and I think your point there is a good point, because what the actual issue is we don't even count a lot of Chelsea's recent history because it's so normal. They've won 2 Champions Leagues in the last few years, but we don't even we see Chelsea as a failing team when really and truly they've been winning for the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? Man City, Chelsea, and Liverpool, even Man United, are the 4 teams in the Premier League, have been winning consistently for the last 10 years. This is a fact. It's only Arsenal that haven't been winning consistently.
So we're the only common denominator.
We're the only top club that haven't won any trophies. Because Man United, as much as we talk about them, they've been winning trophies, bro.
How are you gonna feel if you go on a title run, don't win it, and end up with the Carabao Cup, for example? Is that acceptable?
It's easy to say no now, but I think at the time I think it's easy to say now, but I think at the time when you're in a final and it becomes more of a big deal, I think you might. It's different at the time than it is now, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 100%. It's an update.
Man United, when they got to the Europa League final, Man United are far too big of a club for the Europa League final. But when you get there, all of a sudden, we need to win this. Amorim's first title, win a European title in his first year. You know what I mean? The narrative changes.
Yeah. Also, Brentford exchanged all documents last week for Christian Elanga. Second part of the medical also completed. Contract signed, an official statement to follow next. 10 million addition completed after Kepa, Martins and Mendy waiting for Gyokores. So Arsenal, next one will be Gyokores after Norgard. Interesting what happens with that one. Man United, man, I don't know if you man seen the Netflix, the Amazon documentary.
They said no to it, no?
Yeah, we said no to it, man. Them, you know what I mean? What did you lot think? Obviously, me and Musa spoke about it a little bit yesterday, but what did you lot think, man, when you seen that? Because obviously you man had one already, innit?
We had one. But I think that's probably the reason why the Premier League are doing this halftime interviews and all that as well, because Amazon they're getting a lot of access and paying a lot of money, stuff like that, innit? These guys they're going to do the changing room. The Premier League are doing the changing room and stuff like that, aren't they, this year, innit?
Halftime.
Yeah, they are.
So I think they're probably seeing, we're losing a lot of access that we can create ourselves just without having to need them. But it did a lot for Arteta. You know what I mean? Because it made everyone feel like, this guy's really intense and he looks like he's really onto the players. But I think for Man United are a far bigger club than us. So I think they don't need that. You might be seeing a lot of chaos that you don't need to see. I think it's just unnecessary right now. I don't know.
I don't think it did good things for Arteta, bro. I don't know where you picked that up from.
No. It actually made Arteta look a bit.
That's what Declan Rice. That's what Declan
Bro,
Rice
he's letting speakers out. You'll never walk alone.
So Declan Rice did he sign because he saw him.
He's holding light bulbs.
Yeah, but you're arguing with football players. I'm not a football player. They said Declan Rice said he signed because he saw him how he was on a documentary and stuff.
Bro, if that's the reason Declan Rice signed for us.
Yeah, but we needed that documentary to give us a little bit of an insight. But I don't think Man United do. I think their team's in a bit more chaos. I think.
Yeah, it's chaos, bro. Chaos. But at least your football club is at least got a decent training ground. You know what I mean? Decent facilities. You know what I mean, bro? We ain't got shit right now, bro. You know what I mean? So I don't know, man. Like for me, it would have been hilarious just to see Wagwan behind the scenes in it.
No, I don't think you needed it. You didn't need it, man. If you were to watch him behind the scenes, you guys would unpick a lot of holes in all of his flow because he had such a bad season. Like you would be like, why did he do that against this team, and why would you do this against? You know what I mean? It's not like you were winning the majority of the game.
We're rubbish away, bro. So it's like, what's he gonna do to me? Like, I know what this outcome of this football club is, so I'd rather know what's going on. But then again, you are gonna get an edited version. You are gonna get an edited version of it anyway. Like you're gonna like the.
Yeah, but we're over-reported as well, Saeed. I'm sick and tired of the reporting. It's just too much. Man. We're over-reported, man. To get a show as well, that's just like imagine the amount of reports that will come off that. Imagine the amount of things that will get put back out there on Twitter by journalists and this one and that. Yeah. Everything will get spun like so much. It's just we don't need it. We're already
they deserve it. You deserve it though, man.
But we don't need it, Saeed. Look at us though. We're in the group that mad. Every day we're linked. Too much. Every day we're linked to someone that's the group chat's going. The group chat. The group chat is civil war. It's civil.
You got leaks as well. You're gonna have leaks and the documentary. That's madness. That's madness.
Hold on a minute. Yeah, we say this here, but we've been the first people. We've getting our popcorn the first night. Amazon.
We got civil war. Man United. Listen, Man United group chats now are civil war. We start off agreeing, and then everyone's fighting. Like it's too much. Yeah. Calvert-Lewin. Lord have mercy.
You know that he's doing a live watch along, man.
Callum Wilson, Calvert-Lewin, they're taking a mick, and Vardy.
That's crazy.
Yo, it's nasty. It's nasty.
Yeah,
bro.
you doing a live watch?
You know, we signed Elanga for 55 million, bro.
That's nasty work for us right now. I've never seen anything like that. That's the lineup they're giving us.
Yo, how the mighty have fallen, man. I love it.
Only if we don't get the top targets and we get in it.
None of them are better than Rashford. You just sit down with Rashford and keep it moving. What are we doing?
Yeah,
I don't get it. What are we doing?
Rashford is.
Who is your top striker target?
That's madness. You can't be looking at those guys as Man United. Sure.
Nobody that wants Rashford.
You're not just gonna get Wissam.
Yeah, we've already got.
Sit down.
That'll take us another 5 weeks to negotiate as well.
You're probably looking at Calvert-Lewin in this day and age, man.
Who are they looking at?
I think it's fake stories. The thing is, you know why? Yeah, these fake stories happen here because we're not a serious club, innit? Had we acted like a serious club here, all of these stories wouldn't be appearing, bro. We would literally be doing our job and be getting the players that we need to go and get. But because we aren't serious, yeah, then these stories, as a result, come out of nowhere, bro. And it adds fuel to the fire. It adds like more misery. So people believe shit. People will believe it. It's believable because of the fact that you have
facts. Because we're not just doing good business. Because look, there is a league of the best of the rest that Man United can easily pick up, and they're not bad players. Like example, Mamouche that went into City. We could have got him if we were serious about trying to get a player like that. That's not a player that turns down Man United and where he was. And we can see that he's got some ability and he's got something about it. The reality is that we're just not serious about doing anything. There is a league of players who might not be the top players that want to go to the top teams, or who are looked at as some of the best players in world football at the time, who want to go to, I don't know, Liverpool and Arsenal and City and these type of things. But There are other players who are just a bit, below that, who we could get, and they'll do a good job for us in terms of trying to get us back into the top four. But
Yeah,
United just a mess.
What's happened? Because I look at Ineos, I look at Jim coming in, I look at last summer. You did your business quite early last summer. I thought this is strange for United, man.
Yeah.
Players coming in early doors.
There was
and
the
what have
Euros,
you.
didn't it? There was the Euros, bro, and I feel like they had to act fast.
We didn't. Some players kind of went to the end as well. We were waiting to get players out.
I get that, but what I'm saying is, you started this window. Cunha done quick, and I was thinking, okay, United are looking like they're getting their shit together, kind of thing, and looking organized. And then it's just stalled, man. It's completely stalled. You were chasing Delap for ages. Everyone's saying done deal.
They're trying to work out a few, like you wouldn't invite people into your house when your house is messy 9 times out of 10, or if you are coming over, you just quickly try and clean up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You might sweep up a bit.
The cupboard door, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Just sweep up, throw the bin out. Little things that you do. So you're not going to invite a whole Amazon documentary into your house when it's not in order. Right now, it's not really the time for it. You need to clean up a few things.
Cobwebs,
Omar Barada was
exactly.
Omar Barada was in favor of the idea, and then Amorim said, "Nah, bro, I'm not really."
It makes sense. He's still figuring out what he's got. He's got other stuff to focus on. He don't need camera. You got to remember, these are big cameras with mics and lights, and
he told everyone the good times are coming back. So if the good times don't come back here, then he's gonna be selling the Amorim. He didn't even tell Amorim, yo, storm's coming, man. Them.
Yeah,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised they rejected it. This is the team that's making redundancies left, right, and centre to save a pound.
They needed the money at one point. They needed the money at one point.
But this is the team that flew out 2 days after the end of the season to play friendlies out in Asia to pick up 8 mil. I'm surprised you haven't gone for it, because
that would have been.
It's only 10 million that they'll be getting for it. It's only 10 million.
I thought that was low. Yeah, when you look at the number.
That's the biggest deal ever, though.
But that's the biggest deal they've ever paid anyone.
Yeah, that's the biggest deal. But there's a reason why they want to pay 10 million for it. Because there's something to see.
There's a lot.
That would have broke.
But if you look at, I think Man United make that type of money if they pull it out on their own platform. Just because, like I said again, we're just we're just oversubscribed, over-reported, over everything. So if you look at the impact that we just have on all media outlets as a whole, imagine what Amazon will get. Like, they'll get it wouldn't just I think the 10 million will be cheap in terms of the reality of what they'll get back from it. I think United, if they really wanted to do it, it's not that difficult to put that type of show together yourself. Pull it out on your own platform, man. Get your numbers up. It's not even going to be that expensive.
I think it's the wrong time, man. I think it's the wrong time.
Man City, they do their own. They got their own kind of TV station.
Yeah, they did the Amazon one for extra money, but I think you can do this yourself in this day and age with a camera crew. It's not that expensive. Just build your own platform.
I think we're avoiding the real question here that we need to know the answer of. Saeed Musa. Who are you taking from Calvert-Lewin, Wilson, and Vardy? Give me your hierarchy, boys.
Rashford. I told you, Rashford. I'm keeping Rashford. These lot aren't getting rid of Rashford. I keep on saying that when he's linked to who he's linked to, none of them 3 players will be linked to Bayern or Barca or Napoli or none of them want them. So I'll keep Rashford. People think Rashford is that bad, but I keep on telling the fan base that in terms of even in his bad season last season, he still contributed. But Saeed don't rate GAs. He don't rate 20 GA in the season. So if you don't rate it, what can I say? I
don't rate the player full stop, you know what I mean? So he can move
because the GA that he put up is what some of these players are getting bought for 55 million, as we spoke of earlier.
Ain't good enough.
But we're not happy with it. It's just he's putting up Elanga numbers. He'll put up Elanga numbers and then we'll be like, yeah, he's not good enough.
Brother is 27 now. His pace looks like he's going now.
But we get Vardy inside. Like you said, answer the question. And who we getting then? Calvert-Lewin or Vardy? If you don't want Rashford, then who we getting?
Don't forget Wilson.
Or Wilson.
brother. What I want is that Richard Rios guy. Yeah?
Nah, it is my
Richard Rios guy. We're not getting no
Richard Rios. Look at these people, man. 30 million euro fee, bro.
Bargain.
He's down 80 Milan.
He's coming.
What are United thinking? Seriously, what am I United messing around for? They're letting Inter, and Roma, buy him for 25 million quid, bro. It is crazy, bro. You're not going to get a better midfielder right now in the market right now for this
But
price.
I'm confused, yeah. What I don't get about Man United is Mainu not playing anymore? Is he not? I don't understand because I rate him highly, so I don't understand.
He
He's more in the 10. We're gonna play him in the 10 position right now.
Yeah,
wait. I thought you were playing Mbeumo and Cunha in the 10.
Yeah, but we ain't even got Mbeumo right now. So we're just saying that we have to mix it up. I think we got a number of players that can play in that position. Like I said, I feel like and the age that Mainu's out, I rate him highly as well. But I just feel like once this manager goes and we start playing with a midfield three, we'll start seeing the best of the kid again.
You're ready for him to go already?
Of course, Amrin's gonna go. I told man they should have went a long time ago. Amrin ain't gonna stick about.
Oh, you're planning.
He's on borrowed time.
You can't say when he goes we're gonna play.
He's on borrowed time. But he's not. It's not. Look, he's got. How long has he got left of his contract, Amrin? 1 more year?
1.5 years, I think it is now.
He's got 1 year, man. He's done. At the end of this,
yeah, about 1.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah, at the end of this season, he's gonna have like 5 months. He's not getting a contract renewal. They got to renew his contract this season for him to have any strength in that dressing room, because every player is gonna know, mate, you're done in 5 months. Allow it. So and they're not gonna renew it. I know they're not gonna renew Amrin's contract.
Now, real talk though, I think for me though, when you deep it, man, it's like I think Mainu, he's taken a big risk, this year, to sit on the bench, for his own development.
How old is he, Saeed?
He's 21.
It's not no risk, man. You just play for your boyhood club. He's gonna get minutes. He's gonna play games. Yeah, he's gonna play games. He's gonna get time. I just feel like obviously we're demanding a lot from these young players now. We think that you got to be 21 and just be like first team and doing all of this and doing. I just feel like he doesn't. He doesn't. He's 20 years old.
You gotta remember, young players, bro. Bro, 1 minute you're 18, bro. The next minute you're 22, bro. Already.
But it's not that deep side. Maybe he's young enough to go out on loan.
Yeah, it's a World Cup year, yeah. He believes he can get into that England team. When you got Jordan Henderson making the England team, yeah, he can make the England team. After what he did, in the Euros, and he mashed up in the Euros, I do believe, when you look at Conmenu, it is a risk for him to just be sitting there.
At 20 years old, I wouldn't be telling Mainu make it all about getting into the England team. I wouldn't be telling him that. I'll be telling him about.
I'm saying that
make it
one of his ambitions, What I'm
saying, but not at this age. I'll be telling him, make sure you can solidify yourself as someone who's not like a non-negotiable at Man United. Someone who you look at and say, this is a kid that he ain't leaving this club, and he's someone that we can't do without. Just work on being the best Kobe mate, and all of that will come. Because
how
as
many games can he realistically play this season? How many games do you reckon he realistically play?
20-odd games.
No, but is that
half your
starting?
season then, bro? You got no Europe.
Is that starting?
Started. Yeah, I'll say it will start 20-odd games this season.
Bro, in what? You've only got Premier League.
That's a lot of games, bro. I don't think it's.
I'm saying less than like 10 starts, maybe.
No way. Remember that. Remember I told you, Saeed. It will be closer to 20 than 10. Remember that.
I'm talking about Premier League, by the way. All competitions. Premier League.
In the Premier League, it will start, I reckon, at least half the games in the Premier League. It's a long season, man. It's a long season. Some of these OGs that we got at United are they're gonna break down. Some of them are chitty bang bangs like Casemiro.
Bro, that's what you're forgetting. You're still in your old mindset here. You've only got Premier League.
No, but look at who's in front of him, though. Look who's in front of him. Ugarte, we think. Casemiro. Some of these guys are not going to last the season, guys. Trust me, I've seen enough. And Bruno, I've seen enough at United to see that when it gets peaked, the managers start pulling on different players and it's going to get peaked for Amorim. You're going to see he's going to start benching guys left, right, and centre and trying something different.
I agree with you on the Mainu thing. Don't rush him, because I think you're one of the worst clubs in terms of fan base for suddenly calling generational talents for a guy who's just laced his boot. And I don't get why you guys always go about Farmer. I can think of loads of examples over the years. What you're saying is right, Musa. Let him develop. But, you guys are so starved for players right now that you're desperate to even chuck the academy boys, and that hampers their development, man. How many times we've seen it even in the England team? Players get hyped up through the roof. The pressure gets too much from the fan base, from the outside, and then they flop. Let this guy develop. You're absolutely right. If he doesn't get into the England team this World Cup, he's still going to be 24 come the next World Cup. That's not even his prime. You know what I'm saying? He'll be able to get 2, maybe 3 World Cups after that. Like, it's better to get his development right than rush him. And
100%.
this is something you lot should learn from over the years. And then once you've hyped up into generational talents, yeah? Look what you're doing to them now. Rashford, when he came, you lot are telling me generational talent. Now you're handing him out. Like, have some perspective on what you do with these kids, man. These kids need to be nurtured.
Let's be honest, man. He was never generational talent.
Bro, don't even tell me, United
but
fans.
to hound down Rashford at Man United, I'm with you. I don't know if he was general, but we revered him as one of the best players to come out of the academy at that time, Saeed. And I think to hound him at the club at 27 years old, with him still putting up double-figure numbers, that's fake news.
Saying, yo, I want to leave, bro. I want a new challenge.
So that's after the manager. That was the manager side. He came out. Why are you backing Amorim for? I don't get it.
I'm backing principle, bro.
Amorim came out with chat.
No, but I'm backing what's right here. This guy has an ample amount of opportunity under how many managers, bro, to prove why he should be in the team, bro. He couldn't do it under Ragnick.
We're not talking about being a team. Bro, we're not talking about being a team. Rashford has proven.
Elanga, bro. You know,
and Elanga scored against Atleti for you, bro.
And we saw how that ended up. My thing is this: Rashford has proven that he's good enough to be in a squad. Whether he's in the 11 or not, it's irrelevant. But in terms of what we have now at Man United, he's proven he's good enough to be in a squad. Even on the numbers that he put up all last season, are still better than flipping Højlund and Zertsky. So where are we going? What are we doing?
Yeah, that's my problem. You're making a very good point.
Let me ask Saeed, would you rather Rashford or Garnacho starting?
Yeah.
I think they're both. I want them both gone.
Don't trust Saeed and Amanda, man. These men,
the real question is being missed here.
I don't want them both starting.
Yeah, but why is no one asking this question? Why isn't there any pressure on Amorim to coach and improve these players? Why is he allowed to come in and say, you know what, Rashford, Garnacho, Anthony, all these players you've spent money on, invested and are struggling to move. Why has no one turned to him and said, try and coach them? What are we paying you for? Why is there this acceptancy of managers to come in and just say, yeah, you know what, you're shit, so I'll just find someone better? A manager is meant to coach and improve.
There's obviously deeper issues in it than just football ability.
No, I agree, Sam. When did we get to this point where a manager comes in to a big club, with a team that's been, spent money on, and I start hearing that's not his left back, that's not his right. Exactly. What the heck are we doing here? What do you mean it's not his left back? Of course it's his left back. He's at Man United. Anyone that he's got in the squad is his players. Make it make sense. Look into the whole fabric of the club. If you can't get it, then look into the youth and see if someone can play your system and bring him in. But you get there and you start saying, well, he needs his own goalkeeper, he needs his own brother. Exactly. What are we doing here?
The thing is, though, the standard when that was brought in by under Ten Hag, was deemed not good enough because they finished 8th position, right? So he came into a new environment.
And they finished. Where else did they finish?
They finished.
It's not just 8. Yeah, they finished 3rd as well.
To the fact that Verano had an excellent season, David De Gea pulled out a lot of saves and whatnot. So,
but you still hounded out David De Gea. You lot hounded him out. When I said keep the guy in, this is why I can't deal with it.
Let me ask you this question.
Can I just finish this one thing?
He's hiding. He doesn't want questions.
A manager comes in, right, and he's in a difficult environment. He doesn't want to, by the way, come to the football club. He says, I want to come in at the end of the season, by the way, Wolfie. Just to give you a bit of context here. He never wanted to come in midway through the season, even though he waffled at the end saying, I'm glad I came in. No, you never glad you were never glad you came in. So he was put in a difficult environment, right? Then he got put in with these players that are prima donnas, right? These players that don't really want to run around. They don't want to really be part of what the manager wants. He's seen there was a clear and visible attitude problem. There was a clear, visible, what would I call it, a lack of willingness to understand what was going on. Hence why he dropped them for the Manchester Derby. Man United won that Manchester Derby. So Man United was vindicated in that aspect, yeah? He told them, yo, listen, they can come back in the team as long as they do what they need to do. Simple. They didn't. They obviously fell out. Rashford obviously does what he does best, went out to the media, done a bit of PR, came back and said, yo, I want a new challenge. Manager ain't respecting me. Cool. Then go and do your own way. Why is it down to the manager and we have to vilify the manager for players making their own choices? Why? Why is it always the manager to blame when players go and do their interviews, go on social media, Go do whatever.
Nah, you're oversimplifying it, bro.
It's all about PR, bro.
Most of these players.
I can blame a manager all I want, and I've been doing it for life. Amorim needs to go. But on the basis of on that bit there, I'm backing the manager on these players.
Now, Saeed, was that problem there before Amorim? Was that problem there before Amorim?
Who the players? Yeah, there was a problem.
Okay. Did we know about it as just layman fans? Yes, we did. Did Amorim know about these problems before he took the job? Yes, he did. So he didn't. He didn't.
If
we know about it just from watching football,
he never knew.
Bro, you can't say that. Everyone knew about your background issues. If Ranieri comes out and says you need open heart surgery, he knows about it.
I mean, he didn't.
Of course he knew.
You don't
know. You're in Manchester. Yeah, you know that it's sticky in Brixton. You don't have to be in Brixton to know that it's sticky. You've heard. You've heard from where you are. Don't come down Brixton. So Amorim knew from where he was sticky in Manchester. He knew.
And he thought he could change it.
You know these laddies here. You know these laddies that come in and go to Channel 5 here. When they come into the house here and they realize, oh my God, what have I got to work with, bro? They don't know the severity of the situation until you get there. That's the problem. What I'm trying to say.
No, you're looking the wrong way. He knew the situation and he believed he could fix the situation. Of course he knew, bro.
He's in the world, bro.
Situation.
Brothers, guys. He never knew.
Players know, managers we know. How do you think he don't know?
Thank you. That's my point.
He knows how Rashford trains and the fact that Rashford sometimes he's not bothered about.
How do you know? How do you know about it?
He got rid of Rashford and he still finished 15th. Cool. Forget Rashford. He got rid of Rashford. Where did he finish? He still finished 15th.
You're talking about where the team finished. I get it. The manager's failed. I understand it. But what you're not
Rashford's not the issue.
Exactly. You know the ins and outs here of how players are training and how they are performing in training. Hence why their attitude and the application then translated to the football pitch. He obviously sees results. Why are they performing? What's going on? Is it, are they being overpaid? He can see, hold on a minute. He can see the greater foundations of what's happening here. But ultimately, the ins and outs of the change room and the dressing room, he doesn't see. Hence why he kicked a lot of men out and said, yo, you're not part of my team.
Okay, and he kicked him out. Exactly what Musa said. And what happened? You finished 15th. This is the problem.
Saying that, though.
Yeah, but Saeed, you're missing the point.
Right, though. Yes or no?
No, but that's not the
about Rashford.
You can be mad about the manager and you can want him out here, but you can
also. Saeed, bro, listen to this. No, bro.
Hold on a minute. The way he's dealt with Rashford and Garnacho, for me, has been right. Yes.
He said Rashford didn't train well. That's nonsense, Saeed, man. He just wanted to pick beef with Rashford.
Brother.
How long did he drop Rashford? How long did it take him?
It took him fairly quickly, to be fair.
Rashford scored in his first game. His debut at Ipswich away, didn't he? He scored in his debut.
Really and truly, he could have
seen. He gave him one game. He gave him one game. Is that what we're saying?
I don't think he gave one game. I think he dropped.
Most managers come into a club and they pick beef with a couple of the big players to let them know that they run stuff. Exactly. He picked beef with Rashford. The reality is this, side. Whoever he thinks was training well, they weren't training that well because we still finished 15th.
Hold on. This is what it was, yeah? Exactly. Ruben Amorim, head coach, dropped Marcus Rashford for several matchday squads due to combination of factors including perceived attitude issues, a breach of pre-match rules. So particularly Rashford was reportedly out in Manchester night before a game. Are you not remembering that, guys? The guy went out night before a game. He found out. Are you not?
Yeah. Are you telling me he's the only player who's ever gone out at night before the game?
No, forget that, bro. Because this guy's probably coming into training, and he might be. I'm not putting allegations out there, but he might have come in and maybe come in drunk. You don't even know.
That's what you're doing. That's an allegation. That's dangerous.
No, I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know.
All right, but Saeed,
he could feel the feeling of this guy been on a night out, bro. Man's
is breaking news right now on Twitter. Saeed said Rashford was drunk.
These are certain things, that the manager can see. I'm just letting you know things where the manager could look and think, hold on a minute.
All right, but say you're right.
Has he been out last night? Has he done this? Why is he not training? Why is he out of breath? Why is he doing this? Like, he's looking at this and he's thinking, yo, this brother doesn't look like he's been looking after himself and being a professional. That's all I'm saying to you. So if the manager can see that, he's going to say to him, yo, brother, get back when you're ready. And I want to see
You don't watch alongside, yeah. You watched him at Villa, and I saw you getting excited a few times when he was doing well at Villa.
No, I never.
And you was like, well, Rashford done well there. Rashford done well there. I'm gonna pull up.
Let me read the Malta report. Typically, Rashford was reportedly out in Manchester United for a game, which Amorim deemed unacceptable close to a match. By the way, that was before, I think, the Europa League game, I believe, which Amorim deemed unacceptable. So Amorim also emphasized the importance of players demonstrating maximum effort and commitment in training and in their overall approach to the game, suggesting Rashford's training habits were not up to the standard.
Okay, let's just say what you're saying is true. Okay, I would still say Amorim is in the wrong because the way he dealt with it. Let me just land it. I would expect this manager, if he was a serious manager, to have come in, disciplined Rashford and said to him, this is what's happened. You're missing this game. You're back in. And this is what I'm going to work with you on to improve your situation. Yeah. This isn't fucking send him to prison, bro. Yeah. This isn't, he hasn't broken laws.
No, but Amorim's his own person, though. He's got to do it in his own way. You can't say that he should do it this way. He does it in his own way. But my thing is, yeah, he's got to do what he wants to do. That's the bare minimum is what he's got to do.
No, but who are you to come and kick out a 27-year-old Marcus Rashford? Who is he?
I don't like this mentality, bro.
Who
is he?
You have to.
This is an asset. You know why I say that? Because you know why I say that? Yeah, because this is a club asset who we are now struggling to move on because we've created this report or this news within mainstream media that he has an issue and he has this and that. There's ways to deal with it. There are ways to deal with it and to actually still move this player on without making it the big deal that he made it. Because now we're struggling. We already knew he was on like 350k a week. We already knew it would be difficult for someone to come and take.
He's meant to be a role model for these players, by the way. Yeah.
No,
you're focusing.
He's meant to be a role model for these players. Yeah?
Do you think Cunha and Mbumo signed for United not to play with Rashford and to play with Højlund? Is that who you think they came to play with?
They were playing with their flipping.
He's still one of the biggest pools we have at the football club to bring players in.
It's done. Cunha said, yo, brother, I've took your number, bro. See you later.
Forget the hype side. You just be real. When players come to play at Man United, they still want to line up with the likes of Rashford. They still come there because of players like that at the club. They don't come there because of all due respect to Zertsky and Højlund and them type of players. They don't come there for that.
You see the
badge, they even ask, no, you still want to play with good players.
You're doing an Elanga point.
Your club is bigger than that.
No, listen, players still.
You're telling me they come because they want to play with
Listen, every single one of us here knows, every single one of us not here knows, players in the Premier League highly rate Rashford. Not because he's their brethren, not because he's anything other than that. They highly rate him. Even at Aston Villa, they're asking about when he was training, his capabilities. You hear what Onana was saying about him. Players rate Marcus Rashford and his ability. Are we saying that we're getting the best out of him right now at the moment at Man United? No. But who are we getting the best out of? I don't like it at Man United when we look at one player, when the whole team isn't playing well. But we you know what the problem is? And this is why I said to the man on the show the other day is this. Man United are individual brilliance FC because we don't have a manager that has a style of play that gets us over the line. So we depend a lot on players' individual brilliance. And when that player gives up or gives in and he doesn't have any more individual brilliance left in him, we turn on him. Whether it's Paul Pogba, whether it's Martial, whether it's Bruno Fernandes, whether it's any player that's got any level of ability, they come in, they start doing numbers for United, we get excited. You see, when it gets a bit too much for them to carry on their own, we start pushing them out. We start saying, they're not good enough, they're not this, but where is that level of when was the last time you saw a Man United team actually play good football that you want to watch? Like, it's been over 5-6 years that any other
that's not club in spite of Rashford, and that's not in
no, but in that given time, listen, in that period of time since Alex Ferguson's left the club, Marcus Rashford has been one of our better players across all the last 10 years. It's going to be hard for you to pick 2 or 3 players that contributed more to this Man United team.
We've now got an upgrade on Marcus Rashford, and that is Mateus Cunha. We've got an upgrade.
He's a number 9, Marcus Rashford. Where's the upgrade? He's never been a 10.
But I'm letting you know, Cunha is for me.
An upgrade. My thing is this: we have a number 9 shirt there. Listen to this. We have a number 9 shirt. We have a number 9 shirt there that's worn by Højlund.
Number 9.
Are you part of his lawyers, man? I'm
Of
telling you now.
course, what Hoyland's the number 9. Who do you want to wear your number 9 shirt tomorrow?
Neither of those two.
Rashford,
I'd rather give it to
Yeah,
you.
but I'm just saying
I'd
that's the
rather
choices you've
Havertz.
got. That's the choice you've got. You think Havertz is better than Marcus Rashford?
At a 9, yeah.
Oh, no, chill.
Pull
Rashford
his
ain't a-
numbers up. Pull his numbers up. Let's pull the
At a
numbers up.
9, yeah.
Pull the numbers up. Pull the numbers up.
You lot are getting too locked into this Rashford debate.
What's
And
going
you're
on
missing the issue.
in London, bro? What's going on in London right now? Like, yo,
Pull the numbers up.
Are you both from South? Yeah, you from South?
I'm from East. I'm from East.
You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on in London, man. Let's relax.
I didn't
first
say
of all.
nothing. I didn't bring up Havertz. I didn't say a thing.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know where that
Havertz is
came
a better
from.
9 than
I think
Rashford.
Listen, guys.
He
Yeah.
said, no, I haven't seen a better 9 than Rashford.
Listen to me. Marcus Rashford, yeah.
It's bad.
Rashford
And
is not a
shit.
9.
That was a shit.
You've read his, you've watched his interview, and you've kind of almost bought into his PR, you know, because you know what he's done here. He said, you know what, I grew up to wanting to be like Henri or something like that. He said, he goes, I style myself around Henri, so I now want to become a striker. 2 years ago, this brother was saying, I don't really like striking. I don't really like being in the middle. I can't really play there.
Right.
Bro, now that his position is under threat here.
Rashford's last best season in numbers for Man United, where did he play when we had Venkos?
Here on the left inside forward.
When we had Venkos, who was up front?
Venkos was up front, but obviously he played like a left inside forward.
Venkos always played behind Rashford.
Gyokores is the
No,
10.
Venkos was up front, yeah, but what happened is, yeah, Rashford was making them kind of almost like inside forward runs.
But he was like the 10 though. Rashford was the one that was playing further up in the team. Yeah, he was playing further up. So I'm saying when Rashford plays further up, which he can do in this system, he scores goals. That was the last time Rashford scored about 17 goals.
Them goals, yeah, honestly, bro, a lot of people look at them goals. He only really scored between a period between December to February. He didn't
Oh
really
my
Saying
days.
it back then, Saeed, man.
That's what I'm saying.
That season, yeah, when you actually deep it, bro, a lot of people are over.
Saeed, is this football or is this tennis?
Hold on a minute. I'll be
Is
real
this
with
an
you.
11-a-side game where everyone has to put in, or are you just out there on your own?
And a real talk, he went for a purple patch here, where after March he went missing, bro. You know that, by the way.
So
He went
where's
missing.
Hoyland's purple patch?
No, forget, because we're not. That's not the standard right now. I'm just saying, yeah, he had about amazing 3 months here, and then he went missing.
I'm
bro.
happy for that. Listen, you know what it is? Because we United going like it's like one man on his own. I'm happy for a player to do very well in a period of the season and then maybe not do so well and someone else also steps up and adds to the team. It's not just about one player, say.
And the bottom line is, you lot are avoiding the main issue. Rashford ain't the main issue, bro. He didn't play,
He's
as
not.
Musa was
He's
saying.
the main issue
last
because he
season.
needs to get out
The
of here,
main
man.
issue is the manager. Let's be real here. A manager who
Right.
I hear.
The manager's staying. That's the constant. These players have been told to leave. So we need to deal with what we can control, and what we can't control, leave it for what needs to be left. Yeah. We can control that the fact that these players have been told to leave.
Yeah, but
so
are they
Sorry.
going to leave, Saeed?
figure out a deal where we think is viable.
Who's got a longer contract, say? Who's got a longer contract? Amorim or Rashford?
Rashford.
So we're talking about it's easier for Rashford to go.
Because Rashford has been told he's been leaving. Like he's been told, yo, you got to leave.
Yeah, but he's got a contract. If no one comes in from where he doesn't make that decision, Rashford's lining up at the start of the season.
We've been told
With Sancho on the other side.
Yeah.
Garnacho on the bench.
Imagine it.
back, yeah. And back said, yo, you're staying. We can't really do anything about it now. It's out of our control.
Marcus Rashford has let it be known, Saeed, he's happy to come back and start training at Man United and he's got no issues.
Bro,
He's put it out there.
you know what it is with us, yeah? We keep thinking, yeah, that these players were going to get water into wine and they're going to be back again.
Oh, sorry, you keep on thinking about this individual brilliance. You think Cunha is going to change our whole season. He's not going to do it on his own.
Then Rashford, I'm taking it. Simple.
Individual brilliance. Mark my words, yeah. Give us 2 to 3 seasons and watch how the Man United fan base turn on Cunha if we don't get a proper manager that gives us the
By
style
the
of
way,
play.
Musa, he's got an attitude on him as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
coming.
Is Cunha, do you think Cunha's going to be better than Rashford at Man United, though?
Hey?
You think Cunha's going to
You
do
think he's
better?
going to have a better career at Man United than
I'm not saying
Rashford?
better career because obviously he's just come through the football club and we don't know where the football club's going.
No, based on what you've seen, because you don't rate Rashford and you rate Cunha. If he stays the same amount of time, you think he'll pick up. You think if he stays the same amount of time as Rashford, he'll pick up more trophies than Rashford has and goals.
We'll see it, and that depends on the ambition.
What are we talking about then? If we have to see and we can't be,
It's true. You should be certain. You should be certain. You should be certain.
Yeah.
I don't believe in Ineos. So how can I be certain?
No, but you
that they
can't
show
say
the
that.
same
Bro.
ambition?
If you're going to say how you're talking about Rashford,
question. How is that?
Cunha is
I don't know the ambition.
Because if you ask me that with Haaland, Saeed, if you ask me that with, say, who else has been there for a while, I'll be like, yeah, 100%.
Ultimately, Rashford has played with Paul Pogba, Ronaldo, Bruno Fernandes. He's played with Martial. He's played with Cavani. He's played with Sancho. He's played with pretty much Wayne Rooney. He's played with a lot of players that Cunha might not be able to ever play with. So when Rashford has been put in every single rebuild you can think of. Zlatan.
And he scored goals.
Yeah, okay. You know who else has that? The same energy doesn't seem to be shared on. Luke Shaw.
Luke Shaw.
Yeah, I know.
Where's that same energy for Luke Shaw that's there for Rashford?
Not there. The man in my chilling.
The guy's been 17, bro. He's been here, bro. Every game the guy's been allowed to be playing, bro.
How long's Luke Shaw been there for?
Yeah, no one says nothing about Luke Shaw lining up next season. The fact that he's going to be lining up.
That guy's, he's
no
finished.
energy.
He's finished.
Look, Saeed lost all strength. As soon as we said Luke Shaw, the strength's gone.
I don't even want to. No comment on mine, man. No comment. Arteta spent 800 million to date. Has to be league or Champions League or the sack. It's only the option. Smash your likes, people. Big up Renee. She says, up the levels. DCL and Wilson are not United levels. Bayern Prem proven striker with world-class link-up. Nicholas Jackson. You keep saying this again, every super chat is the same thing, Jimmy Jack says, why are we not giving the manager the benefit of saying that he knows what he's seen of the players to know he can't work with them? There you go, exactly. So you can say that,
because of the output on the pitch. If you're going to drop those names, then you better damn well get some output on the pitch. David Moyes got the output on the pitch. The Wolves manager got the output on the pitch.
CR7 said young players don't listen. He did. A lot of ego, a lot of chip on the shoulder, 100%. Big up Sophia, member for 8 months, said we've got a bunch of enablers at our club. Keep your players accountable. Khalas, absolutely. Big up my guy Show says, according to Musa, Cunha and Bloom signed for United to play with Rashford. Then they had some rubbish talking like he's got Messi aura. Bro, I'm telling you, man's going on like he's Messi, It's crazy. Musa, all
the
those
disrespect for Rashford is mad, Saeed, because that players rate Rashford. They rate
to the level that you're rating him, no? Not to the level you're rating him.
Of course they do. They rate him more than me.
Cunha plays with Vinny Julio, Rodrigo, and them, man, for international level. You think he gives a shit about Rashford?
Okay. We'll wait and see.
Hey, that was a good answer.
Come on, bro. Man was playing with Suarez and them, man. He's playing with Atletico Madrid players.
Yeah, he just got into but he's just got into it. Like, it's not like he's out there every week. The reality is this side. Do you think when he's giving through balls to Haaland, just like Rashford was, and my man's just flipping, knocking it into the stands, let's see how long that energy stays. Let's see.
He's never said that he's joined because of Rashford, bro. He's always gone, I've always wanted United. That was Cunha's stance.
I agree with that. I agree with that. But I'm saying when you look at the team that you're going to, you always look at the players that they've got and you think, you know what? Yeah, I would like to play with my man. Because you play against it.
Musa, but on that, he would have known or been told that Rashford was being sold. Because at the time, Rashford had been out at Villa and stuff. So Cunha's not coming in for Rashford. There's no evidence to link that link.
No, I'm not saying he's coming in for him. I'm just saying whenever you join a club, you join to play with the best players. Rashford is from our better players at Man United.
Yeah, but that's not a secret. You've been trying to get rid of Rashford for nearly 2 years.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Let me get this super chat anyway. Big up to Jimmy Jackson, Musa, all these young players you mentioned. Check back and see how many of them stopped playing after they carried us for a year or two. Yeah, there you go. Mention them, man. It's crazy, man. But listen, people, man, it's been a lit show, man. Apparently, we hit 500 likes. That's our target for today. It's been a lit show. Hopefully, we can continue this another time tomorrow. Hopefully, 517 likes. Thank you lot for tuning in, man. It's been a crazy show. Whenever Musa's here, it's going off, man. It's going off. Me and him, we'll always be talking about Rashford, man. And the fact that he's still backing him, it's crazy, man. But we're all here. Big up. And L says United didn't struggle to create, only finish. Yeah, we had a big problem with finishing last season. Big up to you, man. Wolfie, man. Thanks for joining us, man, on the morning show, bro. It's been a lit
pleasure, bro. Sorry?
Make sure you follow Wolfie. Let them know what you got coming up, man.
Yeah, more Elanga talk, man. I'll be talking about your cut, no doubt, at some point today. Your 6 mil or whatever you're getting from our back pocket for that one. It's probably your biggest profit the last 2 seasons. I don't know what you've sold, man. So yeah, we got that coming up over on Forest Fan TV. But yeah, appreciate the invite as always, bro.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Musa, love as always, man.
Yeah, always, man. I'm just hitting the road. I'm outside now. The sun's out. Forget United.
Yeah, that's it, bro. That's it. You've had your daily dopamine of United now. That's it, man. Enjoy your day.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
Yeah, bro. I hear you, man. Big up to you, Musa, man.
Love to the chat. Love to the panel as well. Love to the panel always.
Yeah. And then we're gonna be redirected to Fam Zone TV, man. We got some talk on there with George. Is it you and George, isn't it?
Yeah, me and Jules. Yeah, I'm just scratching myself with this brush. I got heat rash all over myself. It's killing me.
Heat rash.
I thought it was at the thoughts of speaking to George. Giving you a rash, right?
What would the brush do, though? What would the brush do?
The brush say don't use your nails, innit? Don't scrape the skin and the dirt on the nails, innit?
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, there
is that a thing or is it a D thing?
Yeah, no, it's a thing. That's a thing still.
Okay, fair enough then. Yeah, man. So yeah, people, make sure you head over to Fam Zone TV. I'll be back later on, 5 p.m. with Tyrone. We'll be talking about any United news that breaks. And obviously we've got the game tonight. Fluminense and Chelsea. Neutral watch along. You know what I mean? And we'll see you lot there, man. You get me? Big up to everyone locked in.